Hello history buffs and curious minds. We bring the past to life like never before, showing you legendary figures in their authentic environments, exactly as they lived and made history. AI reconstructed environments and historical visuals, 100% accurate historical narratives that transport you through time. If you like this fresh approach to history, subscribe to join the time-traveling community, like to support our work, and leave a comment below. We read and value every opinion. Confucius, 6th to 5th centuries BC, was a Chinese philosopher whose ideas became the foundation of Chinese culture and civilization. By his personal example and wise precepts, he showed how to become an honest, decent, and respectful person, striving for personal virtue and social order. His main idea was harmonious relations between people. Sons are respectful to parents, parents take care of children, officials serve honestly, and rulers take care of the people. Confucius's teachings, called Confucianism, became the official ideology of the Chinese state and influenced the development of Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. Today, Confucius's ideas inspire millions of people striving to build a just society and achieve inner harmony. Augustus Octavianus, 63 BC, 14 AD, was the first Roman emperor who laid the foundations of the Roman Empire and the Golden Age that followed. It was he who ended the bloody civil wars, established peace and stability in the troubled republic, making Rome the strongest state of its time. His power Octavian skillfully used secretly, formally preserving republican institutions, although the real power belonged to him. His reign lasted almost 50 years, and this period has been called Pax Romana, Roman peace, a time of unprecedented tranquility and prosperity. Curiously, under his reign, the birth of the Son of God, Jesus Christ, was officially announced, which later played a special role in the destiny of Rome itself and the whole of Europe. Alexander the Great, 356 to 323 BC, was a young general who conquered half of the then-known world in less than a decade. The son of the Macedonian king Philip II, he inherited a strong army and an indomitable will to win. Under the guidance of his teacher Aristotle, Alexander grew up to be a highly educated man who combined the power of arms with a keen understanding of foreign cultures. In a short time, he defeated the Persians, Egyptians, Indians, creating the most vast empire of antiquity, stretching from the Adriatic to India. But the most amazing thing is not so much his military successes as his ability to turn an enemy into a friend, to build cities, such as Alexandria, and to create the unique blend of Eastern and Western cultures known as Hellenism. Assurbanipal, 7th century BC, was the last great king of Assyria, possessing a unique combination of strength and wisdom. This warlord expanded the borders of his empire to unprecedented proportions, even annexing Egypt and Babylonia. But in addition to his belligerence, Assurbanipal was renowned for his scholarship. He amassed a gigantic library of clay tablets containing thousands of texts on medicine, magic, literature, and other sciences, a unique trove of ancient wisdom. Surprisingly, despite his harsh reputation, Assurbanipal loved reading and writing more than warfare, relying on knowledge as an instrument of power. Gautama Buddha, 6th to 5th century BC, was an Indian prince who gave up a rich life to find the truth and get rid of suffering. After years of searching and intense meditation, he attained enlightenment under a Bodhi tree and found the causes of suffering and the path to liberation. He proclaimed the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, which help one to overcome suffering and attain peace of mind. Through these teachings, one of the world's major religions, Buddhism, emerged. The most interesting thing is that Buddha did not call himself God or a prophet, but said that any person can repeat his path and achieve enlightenment. The Achaemenids were an ancient dynasty of Persian kings, the most famous branch of which began with Cyrus the Great, 6th century BC. Under his leadership, a huge empire was created that united many peoples from India to Greece. Cyrus the Great is famous not only for his military victories, but also for his humanity. He allowed the defeated peoples to preserve their languages, religions, and customs, establishing a kind of multiculturalism on the scale of the whole empire. The next great representative of the dynasty was Darius I, who improved the management of the empire, creating a unified monetary system and postal service, which facilitated the control of vast territories. Homer was a legendary ancient Greek poet who lived presumably in the 8th century BC, the creator of the epic poems the Iliad and the Odyssey, which have become cornerstones of world literature. Although the details of his life are unknown, his works convey images of heroes, gods, and ordinary people, captivating characters, and dramatic stories that have survived through the ages. Thanks to Homer, we know about the events of the Trojan War, the voyages of Odysseus, and other exciting adventures that still inspire writers, artists, and filmmakers. The most interesting detail is that no one is exactly sure whether Homer really existed or whether his name became a collective pseudonym for a multitude of authors. Zoroaster, Zardusht, is a legendary prophet and reformer who lived in ancient Persia around X8 centuries BC. He created his own religion, Zoroastrianism, which became the first monotheistic religion in history with a clear division into good and evil. The main achievement of Zoroaster was the introduction of the concepts of the supreme god Ahura Mazda, personifying good, and his opposite Angra Mainyu, the personification of evil. This division strongly influenced subsequent world religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. An interesting feature is the belief in the purifying power of fire, which symbolizes purity and piety, and therefore plays a central role in Zoroastrian rituals. Nebuchadnezzar II, 6th century BC, was the king of the Babylonian Empire, who transformed the small city of Babylon into the grandiose metropolis of his time. Among his major achievements were the capture of Jerusalem and the destruction of the first temple, which caused the famous Babylonian captivity of the Jews. It was under Nebuchadnezzar that the famous Hanging Gardens of Semiramis were built, a wonder of the world, striking in its design and lushness of greenery in the middle of the desert. He was also famous for impressive architectural designs such as the Grand Ishtar Gate and the Walls of Babylon, which adorned the capital of the empire and impress even modern archaeologists. Pythagoras, 6th century BC, was an ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician, founder of his own school and secret order. His most famous achievement was the famous Pythagoras theorem, still used today in geometry and construction. In addition to mathematics, Pythagoras was involved in music, cosmology, and ethics, believing that the soul is immortal and passes from body to body. Another achievement was the discovery of the relationship between string length and pitch, which led to the advent of fine-tuning musical instruments. Most curiously, Pythagoras' disciples observed strict rules: silence, vegetarianism, and shared meals. And some even called themselves Pythagoreans, refusing to recognize their own authorship of discoveries, attributing them to their teacher.